Residential sales comparison and income approaches, page 109. Selected USPAP illustrations and guidance. The following USPAP advisory opinion, AO, and frequently asked questions, FAQ, have been selected to illustrate the application of USPAP in specific circumstances discussed in this chapter. AO9, the appraisal of real property that may be impacted by environmental contamination. AO22, scope of work in market value appraisal assignments. AO24, normal course of business. FAQ 104, range of value. FAQ 123, reconciliation of the approaches to value. FAQ 124, adjustments in sales comparison approach. FAQ 149, analysis of sales history for comparable sales. Quiz. Number 1. A unit of comparison is a component with which a property can be divided for the purpose of comparison, such as square foot, living unit, etc. B, demonstration of the proximity of the subject property to common destinations and conveniences. C, demonstration of the value by using superior and inferior indications to the subject. Or D, property feature that can be used to explain differences in the marketplace. The answer is A. A unit of comparison is a component with which a property can be divided for the purpose of comparison, such as square foot, living unit, etc. Number 2. A vacant plot of land with dimensions of 200 feet by 150 feet sold for $75,000. Using front feet as the unit of comparison, what would the unit sale price be? A, $150. B, $214. C, $375. Or D, $500. The answer is C, $375. There's an extra note written here. It said the first is always the the frontage. So whenever you hear someone say a vacant plot of land with dimensions of 200 by 150 using front feet, you always go off that first number that was listed. Go off that 200 feet. That was the extra note. That's how you get that answer. Number 3, an element of comparison is a characteristic of a property or a transaction that can be used to explain differences in the price paid in a transaction. B, demonstration of the proximity of the subject property to common destinations and conveniences. C, demonstration of the value using superior and inferior indications to the subject. Or D, device used to compare the price paid for comparable properties of different sizes or with differing features. The answer is A. An element of comparison is a characteristic of a property or a transaction that can be used to explain differences in the price paid in a transaction. Number 4, who would be an example of a person with a partial interest in an apartment building? A, a co-owner. B, owner of restaurant on the same street. C, a property manager. Or D, a taxing authority. The answer is a co-owner. A co-owner would be an example of a person with a partial interest in an apartment building. Number 5, according to USPAP Standards Rule 1-4, when personal property, trade fixtures, or intangible items are included in the appraisal, the appraiser must A, analyze the effect on value of such non-real property items. B, assign a value opinion to the individual items. C, ignore such items in the course of the appraisal. Or D, remove the items from the property during the inspection. The answer is A, analyze the effect on value of such non-real property items. According to USPAP Standards Rule 1-4, when personal property, trade fixtures, or intangible items are included in the appraisal, the appraiser must analyze the effect on value of such non-real property items. There was an extra note, something about I don't know what it says. Something like clean tolls or clean something like that. I don't know what it means. Number 6, the comment to you, the USPAP Standards Rule 1-4 states that when the scope of work includes an appraisal of personal property, trade fixtures, or intangible items, A, the appraiser can disclose his lack of competency and carry on with the assignment. B, the appraiser can ignore the items and carry on with the assignment as usual. C, competency in personal property appraisal or business appraisal is required. Or D, competency in personal property appraisal or business appraisal is not required. The answer was C, competency in personal property appraisal or business appraisal is required. The comment to the USPAP Standards Rule 1-4 states that when the scope of work includes an appraisal of personal property, trade fixtures, or intangible items, competency in the personal property appraisal or business appraisal is required. Extra note, a unit, measurement, element. A unit is a measurement, an element is a characteristic. Page 110. Number 7. What scenario would be an example of an arm's length transaction? A, after winning the lottery, a man sells his home at a discounted price to a local college he attended that will use it for office space. B, a couple getting divorced quickly sells their home. C, a man offers to and sells his house to his friend at the appraised market value before he puts it out on the market. Or D, a woman accepts the first offer on her house before she leaves the country for military service. The answer was C. A man offers and sells his house to his friend at the appraised market value before he puts it on the market. That scenario would be an example of an arm's length transaction. Number 8, in terms of elements of comparison, a difference between the subject and comparable in zoning is an element of A, location, B, market conditions, C, physical characteristics, or D, property rights conveyed. The answer is a location. In terms of elements of comparison, a difference between the subject and a comparable in zoning is an element of location. Number 9, an adjustment derived through paired data analysis results in A, a qualitative analysis, B, a quantitative adjustment, C, reconciliation, or D, a regression analysis. The answer is B, a quantitative adjustment. An adjustment derived through paired data analysis results in a quantitative adjustment. Number 10, the following values have been identified as the extracted contributions of a third full bath. $4,000, $2,750, $3,500, and $3,000. What is the median? Round your answer to the nearest dollar. A, $3,250. B, $3,313. C, $3,500. Or D, $3,375. The answer is A, $3,250. Extra note, whenever you see median, go for the middle. Number 11, the following values have been identified as the extracted contributions of a full finished basement. $10,000, $8,000, $9,500, $10,750, and $9,000. What is the mean? Round your answer to the nearest dollar. A was $9,000, B was $9,375, C was $9,450, and D is $9,500. On this one, I didn't get the answer in class, so I'm gonna try to solve it real quick. They're looking for the average. Average. I might have to come back and solve that one. 18. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and solve that one. It's somewhere in the nines though. High is 10, low is 9, probably. And it's not a mode because there isn't two of the same numbers. Average, the average. Probably $9,500, man. I'm probably gonna go around that. I don't know. The answer's not on it. Number 12. This one was highlighted, and the note of on the test. So, number 12, a statistical measure that attempts to ascertain the source of change in variables is known as A, bracketing, B, a regression analysis, C, a scatter diagram, or D, a statistical measure of central tendency. The answer is B, a regression analysis. A statistical measure that attempts to ascertain the source of change in variables is known as a regression analysis. Know that one. Number 13, a home is found with the same floor plan as the subject, but is in a different market and would not appeal to the same buyer. The home is A, comparable to the subject, B, competitive with the subject, C, inferior to the subject, or D, superior to the subject. The answer was A, comparable to the subject. However, there's an extra note that was written here that says no answer. So I can't remember what it was in class, but that's what we were talking about. Number 14, the condition of a property is considered within analysis of A, conditions of sale, B, location, C, market conditions, or D, physical characteristics. The answer was D, physical characteristics. The condition of a property is considered within analysis of physical characteristics. And lastly, number 15, in order for the correct application of percentage adjustments, what is the order in which adjustments are applied in the sales comparison approach? A, financing terms, property rights conveyed, conditions of sale, location, market characteristics, and physical characteristics. Or B, property rights conveyed, financing terms, conditions of sale, market conditions, location, and physical characteristics. C, property rights conveyed, location, market conditions, financing terms, conditions of sale, and physical characteristics. Or D, property rights conveyed, physical characteristics, financing terms, conditions of sale, market conditions, and location. The answer was B, property rights conveyed, financing terms, conditions of sale, market conditions, location, and physical characteristics. In order for the correct application of percentage adjustments, the adjustments are applied in the sales comparison approach by number 1 was first property rights conveyed, then financing terms, then conditions of sale, then market conditions, then location, and then physical characteristics.